I'm sitting by the west gate of Silchester Roman ruins, and it's an incredibly blustery day. You can see all the grasses blowing. I would like to be a bit closer in, but it is very rough there, and I think everything would fall over. But I thought I would do a quick study of this lovely gap through the walls with the clouds behind, and see what I can capture of the atmosphere of this place. Every month I'm visiting a place that I think is fun to sketch, and I'm recording my process in real time so that you can get some ideas or techniques, but then I'm inviting you to sketch the same view in your own way and share it online. And if you use the hashtag sketchwithliz, then we can all see what everyone else is doing. And I want it to be like a virtual worldwide sketching club. It's like we're all sketching alongside even though we're apart. So here I am in Silchester, which is a Roman ruin quite close to where I live. The walls go on for a couple of miles and it's just deserted, and very few people seem to know it's here. It's also got a wonderful amphitheatre. Usually when I come out sketching, I say, just bring a pen, paper, keep it simple, you are not a donkey. But today I have got some tempera sticks, which I just bought and I'm having so much fun with. I wonder what they would be like for sketching outdoors. I'm using some pastel paper, and I've picked out this sort of warm salmony colour, orangey colour, and I thought I would have a go at this scene. I'm by the west gate, and I am going to use my Tombow, the bullet tip, just to get a bit of a guideline in, because I had this idea of having the wall here. Oh my lord. Say if this all falls over or I fall over, don't laugh. And then the gate sort of there, and I want all these wonderful, because it is a gorgeous day, blue sky and the big fluffy white clouds sort of showing through here. And then I've got loads of grasses. I'd have liked to be a bit closer, tighter into the wall, but it's very rough grasses here. Look, there you go, just to show you, rough grasses. Let's get better shapes of these edges, because if I want to get the sky behind, I want these to look like stones, and it's all the old flint and everything. And I think I just need to make sure that shape is right. Okay, if you've not come across these tempera sticks before, they have a kid's supply. They are not for grown-ups, but I saw so many people using them and having such fun with them. I thought, oh, I want to go at that. And they are really super creamy. They are water soluble, and you can blend them to a certain extent, but they dry really, really quickly. Now, if you haven't got these, look how they layer, and then you can do some blending like this. There you go, fluffy cloud. If you haven't got something like this, of course you could. What could you use? You could use oil pastels. You could use acrylics. You could use your watercolours. Of course you could. Just, I thought I would be really interested to see how you could use these en plein air, if we are being smart about it. So, and the great thing about them is, apart from that they're very reasonable to buy because they are kids' things, is that they are beautiful colours. They dry really quickly, and you can use all sorts of media on top of them. I've got a handful of pens, and you can, sorry, no, that isn't purple. I'm very limited for colours, and I wish I had a grey, but I haven't, so I'm going to have purple clouds. Wow, what purple cloud is. Not a bad thing, is it? You can put water on top of them, which may sort of dissolve them off. Not may, will dissolve them off. They're not hugely water soluble. I've certainly seen more water soluble things in my life, but they are a lot of fun. And I just wondered whether I could actually use them outside. Obviously, if I decide I can't, I'll simply delete this film and you will never know I'd even attempted it. But they layer really, really nicely. I think there's something very satisfying about them. So I wanted to have a go at that sort of sky, those clouds, because that's a sort of view through the walls. And then I want to use all these lovely colours I've got. Again, no grey there, but lots of these greens and browns to put in all the multiple colours I can see in the rocks and stones. What I like is in this wall sort of layers of the stones, sort of faux little plants growing, and you've got sort of flint filling and layers of sandstone going through like that. And I'm just going to put in blocks of colour and then working pen on top. And which pen I use, I'm not quite sure yet. I like this gungy green, that's really nice, isn't it? Now, I haven't got any of the right colours, and we're just going to have to deal with that and improvise. More grass coming down here, because this is the west gate into the city, and then we come down like that. Now, I have got a fountain pen, and that has got platinum carbon ink in it, and I think it will be rather nice to work on top of these blocks of colour that I've put in. Ooh. So can you see how it does just go on top so nicely? So we need blocks, and then we need the flints, and I'm going to do this sort of continuous line, and then we've got these sort of strata of I guess it held the whole thing together. My knowledge of Roman construction methods is sadly a bit lacking, but I presume these sort of layers kept things together. think this way of working would be really nice if you were painting cliffs at the seaside or something like that, and you could have, I don't know, lots of blocks of colour and then work on top. Wouldn't that be fun? I'm not at the seaside, I'm at wonderful Silchester. So it's free to get in. So if you are anywhere local or coming down this way, it's not far off the motorway, but it's just so peaceful and wonderful. So at the bottom here we've got more fallen stones, and then of course I've got all that sort of dry foliage there. Ooh, what do you think? Quite like this. This is how I imagined it would work, but I wasn't sure. So this is the far wall, and if I use a lighter hand here, we've got this sort of course of stones, and then more of this sort of infilling here. And then got another course of stones. That. When we got here, there was someone, I guess he was an archaeology student, measuring up with those special checker sticks and things. He sort of gave me a strange look of like, what are you up to? And I gave him a strange look of, what are you up to? It's always fascinating when you come to places what you see. It's nice and quiet, so hopefully we won't get too interrupted. Ooh, nice sticky out stone there. Well, that's fun. So what I want to do, and I wonder if I've got a thicker pen than this. Oh yeah, look. That might be a bit too thick. Is bringing some of these dried grasses and things sort of in front. By using a thicker line, it makes it come towards you. I think that'll work. I'll do some of that. And even though they're close, we're not doing them as sort of botanically correct, it's just the shapes. Sort of all the wild grasses there. If you can see a shadow moving behind me, I'm not about to get mugged. This is my wonderful son who is being incredibly patient with me and making sure that everything is filmed. So big shout out to Adam, much appreciated. That's the sort of idea of this. Right, now that I'm convinced it's going to work, I'm going to go back in and put some more colour and actually sort of squarer blocks, because these are big blocks of stone. Apparently they came all the way from Bath, which would be, well, I don't know, 70-80 miles away. So why they would go to that hassle, I guess it was just because this was an important city and it was worth going to the hassle of building it beautifully. This is sort of dried grasses along the base of the wall, so I'll do a thinner there. Not that keen on the green that I use for this. I wanted to differentiate the actual sort of grass from the sort of foliage growing on the walls, but I'm not sure I particularly like that. However, if I put some of that into the walls, it won't maybe be as distracting. So I'm really feeling my way around this, having never done this sort of drawing before, or this sort of process, and not being utterly convinced it was going to work. I actually am having a whole pile of fun, and I don't think it's a bad idea to totally experiment. And I also don't think it's a bad idea when you're doing something like this not to finish one area, because you might actually have a bright idea halfway through and be able to do something. If you've sort of done one whole area as you thought you were going to do it, then it's kind of a bit late to go back. Grasses and things growing out here, which again just sort of breaks up that edge, which I rather like. I'm impressed at the fountain pen going over these tempera sticks. Wasn't sure they would. Gosh, it really is blowing a hoolie. We are going to have to go and find somewhere for a nice warm cup of tea after we've finished here, because I'm quite cold. Now, just going to get some of these grasses in again and get them blowing away. This side of the wall is less fallen down, or has been repaired, who knows. So I quite want to get that. Got to remember where that's coming. Make sure this stands out in front of it. Pen is slightly struggling where I've done thicker applications of the tempera, but still it's going all right. So this is platinum carbon ink, so that is waterproof. If I decided to put any water on here, I don't need to worry about the ink running. This little set of tempera sticks, I have done a total view of them. They were very reasonable. I think it was £13 or something for these. So I don't think that's bad at all. That's quite nice. They sort of cover up some of the ink. So you just twist them like glue sticks. Need to make sure I don't lose any in the process of being here. Just wondering if I press a bit harder, whether I can get some really gutsy dark marks between the blocks. Or, I just had a thought. That's a brush pen. That might give me the, yeah, look at that. Again, just to show the differentiation between the blocks. And then I wonder about texture. Just thinking about hatching some of them so they definitely separated out of the background. Oh yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Let's do some bigger chunks of block as well. Well, I think I could spend all day doing blocks on this and still not get them, so I'm not absolutely not going to put every single one in, but what I want to do is get the impression of all that variation of shape and tone and colour. Less over here simply because it's further away, but still sun. I wish I had slightly stronger colours just to bring some of this forward a bit. This is a pastel set of the paint sticks, so there's nothing terribly gutsy. I could always, when I get home, just put a few dots to really bring that forward. Just going to have a go at blending the sky a little. This is pastel paper, so it's not going to take much water. I just want to smooth some of that sky out. Just layer that up a bit more. Goes on the damp paper rather nicely. And just bring those forward over that sky. So say I haven't got the bright, I would like to put rusty red or something. And the best I've got is pink. But it is good to improvise with what you are doing. So you may discover different colour combinations that you wouldn't have otherwise. So coming out with limited colours is no bad thing. Don't know if you can hear all the grasshoppers in the background. It's so peaceful here. You just imagine this as a thriving city with thousands of people living here. It's fascinating. Just putting a few sort of leading lines to take us around that corner. More of this chaos here. Okay, I reckon I'm done.